Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwe's first post-independence leader, has died at the age of 95. Mugabe ruled Zimbabwe from 1980 to 2017, and during his time in office, the country went from independence to recession, then economic collapse. Mugabe's early years were praised for broadening access to health and education for the black majority, but his controversial land reform program sparked an economic collapse, and his latter years were marked by rights abuses and corruption. Take a look.
Robert Mugabe once quipped he'd rule Zimbabwe until he turned 100. He very nearly achieved this goal. Mugabe first came to power in 1980, a hero in the fight against white minority rule, and a legend even in the West. In office, he was credited with education reforms and forcing reconciliation between blacks and whites. But even then, Mugabe's reputation for repression had begun.
For the first few years, I think you have to say that Mugabe was a very wise leader. There were some major catastrophes, particularly by the use of too much force to put down what he thought was rebellion in the west side of the country. But really, for the first 10, perhaps even 15 years, Mugabe led the country very, very well.
Mugabe's efforts at reconciliation faded quickly, epitomized by the seizure of white-owned farms. Introduced in 2000, this radical policy was used to reward his own supporters, few of whom knew much about farming. The result was famine in a country once known as the breadbasket of Africa. Yet Mugabe would go on to win elections several times, ignoring each international outcry that followed the widespread use of violence to intimidate his opponents. As he entered his 90s, he lost none of his disdain for political enemies.
We will fight the white man. We will fight until the last of us falls, naked, with nothing.
Mugabe continued to enjoy popularity with his party and to win elections. Though in 2008, polls were marked by violence against the opposition, and the 2012 vote was likely rigged. Having become the world's oldest president, he was finally forced to relinquish power on the 21st of November 2017, dropped by his party, the army, and the people. When he died, after 37 years of undivided rule, Zimbabwe still had not recovered from the economic collapse that ravaged the country.